Hi, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. This is your tip of the week and it's all about machine applique. So let's take a look at a sample. This is just a pot holder that I did and you can see it's got a flower with leaves. What I did on this is I cut the flower and leaves out of some fabric. It was already printed on other fabric. And then used something called fusible webbing to adhere it to this background fabric. And then I did some decorative stitching all around the edges. Let's take a look at some of the fabrics. Now, I got that flower you just saw, I got off of this fabric. So you could, if you wanted to, cut out all the different colors and maybe put it onto a table runner. Now here's some large print fabric. Remember, you need to look for large prints. This has cupcakes, a little owl, and other candies on it. Now, maybe you want to just draw your own. Now, if you're like me, I can't draw worth a hoot. I can trace really well. And so this is a fall leaf, a very rough-looking fall leaf that I applied onto this white background fabric. In this fabric here is this leaf. So what I did was I actually put the fabric into my photocopier printer and enlarged it and then cut it out and put it onto this background fabric so it all works together. So now here is a bunny rabbit. This is really easy to draw, and I will show you techniques that it will make it easier for you to do this. So this is a bunny rabbit for Easter, and then I did a satin stitch around the edge. Now here's another one. This is another pot holder with an apple on it. I drew this shape, did a rough drawing of it. Remember, you don't have to be a really good artist to do some of this because remember, it's folk art and folk art is never exact. It just sort of resembles something in life. Here is a shamrock, and in this video tutorial, I have a really easy method to draw this shamrock. And many teachers that have watched this video said they use it in their classroom. They found it so easy for their kids to do this shamrock. Here is a heart. Now this is a double heart. I cut out 2 different size hearts, fused it on, and did decorative stitching. So here is a mug rug. This has a coffee cup. Now it's just a rough drawing of a cup, a saucer with a handle on it, and a really simple satin stitch around the edges. Now this one probably looks complicated. It's a butterfly, but all it is 4 circles laid out close to each other, and it gives the illusion that it's a butterfly. Real easy to draw. Now I'm going to show you a couple of more complicated ones. This character here and here, this is Sunbonnet Sue, and this is Overall Bill. They're very big in the quilting world. There are books that you can buy that has Sunbonnet Sue and Overall Bill doing all kinds of activities. So I show you how to, whatever pattern you decide you want to purchase, that you can draw these, and I show you the step-by-step process of putting something more complicated together. It's not difficult once you know how. Now let's take a look at some applique stitches that you might have on your sewing machine. This is just a small sample of what you might have on your machine. These applique stitches sometimes are also referred to as heirloom stitches. So it just depends on your sewing machine and how they identify them. And so this is a very popular machine applique stitch. This one is bold. It actually goes over each stitch about 3 times. This one here is a lighter one, only goes over each stitch once. And then you go on down. Here's another real popular one here, and so is this one. Then I'm going to go over here. Some of these right here, these are satin stitches, the small, medium, and large. I don't use the small one too often. I use this one and this one a lot. And then there are other varieties of satin stitches. I have a Baby Lock Crescendo, and I also have a Viking Sapphire sewing machine. In my books, it has a section where it actually talks about applique stitches. And it will tell you that you do need to go slow when you're stitching around curves and going around corners. So it explains to you that most of the stitches actually start on the right side. So when you're looking at your presser foot, it's going to start on the right side. So you want to line it up, that first stitch, with a drawn line. I always try to suggest to people to draw circles and squares on some scrap fabric and practice just stitching around curves and corners. So you would start on the outside of the line and then begin to go around. On the corners, it's the same way. Try to leave that needle down on the right side as you go around the corner, right side on the outside of the line, so that when you get around the corner and you start again, it'll begin stitching in the correct side. I'm now going to go over how you apply your fusible webbing to your fabric so that you can put it on whatever background fabric you want. And this is a product that I use. It's by Pellon, and it's called Light Easy Steam 2. So it is lightweight, two-sided, pressure-sensitive, fusible webbing. And on the back, flip it over, it gives you instructions on how to put it on. It's really, really easy. So I'm going to go over some of this now. I'm going to show you how to put a heart shape onto your fusible webbing. Your fusible webbing has two sides to it. So on one side are these blue grid lines to help you draw whatever design you want. On the back is just plain paper. In between the two layers of paper is a very thin layer of glue. So the first thing you want to do is take whatever shape that you want to draw, place it on the blue grid line side, and then draw around it, or freehand draw your shape. After you do that, then you want to cut it out. And when you cut it out, do not cut on your drawn lines. You want to leave a little bit of paper sticking out past your drawn lines. Then you're going to remove the paper from the back. And I've already got a piece of it lifting up. But if you can't get your paper to come up, you just take a straight pin, score the paper to tear it a little bit, bend it, and it'll come up. So then you just pull it off. Here's the fabric I'm going to use. This is the front side, the pretty side of the fabric. Turn it over to the back, the not so pretty side, and place it down, glue side down, and finger press it all over. And then take a pair of scissors, and now you're going to cut on the drawn lines. Now you want to remove the blue grid line paper. Now as you're pulling this paper off the back, make sure the glue is not coming up with the paper. You want to leave that glue down on the fabric. So tear it off. All right, so it's very tacky right now. Here is the fabric I want to place it on. Now this is the pretty side, the front of it. So you would take it and set it down. Now, if it looks crooked, then you can lift it up and place it down again. Once you're happy with the way it looks, it's in the right spot, then finger press it down. Now you want to go to your ironing board and actually fuse it on. Make sure you follow your package instructions. It might say something different than what I'm telling you. So always follow that for best results. So you have your applique piece facing up. You're going to take a cloth and put over it, and it should be a damp cloth. Now I usually just take a spray bottle of water and I dampen it down really good. Then you want to have your iron on hot with steam, and you set it down on top, give it a burst of steam, and hold it anywhere for 12 to 15 seconds. If it doesn't seem like it's sticking very well, then just hold it down a little bit longer. Then when you're done, remove the cloth and let this cool down. After it has cooled off, then it's ready to do your applique stitches. You really do need to use a presser foot that is open here. This is called an open toe. Some presser feet are open toe, but it still has clear plastic over there. You want to be able that you can see really well in front of your needle, so you can see exactly where you are stitching. So you would just center that foot. There's usually a center line right on your foot. You would keep it on the edge of your applique heart or whatever design you're using and follow that. Before you begin stitching, you want to put either tearaway stabilizer or some thin paper. I prefer the thin paper because it's more affordable. I want to show you this great big giant roll. I got this at Home Depot. I'm sure you can get it at Lowe's too. Go into the paint department and you will see all kinds of rolls of paper in different thicknesses. It's just a few dollars for all of this, whereas machine stabilizer is a lot more expensive. So I go for this. After you've done your stitching, then you just tear the paper off. You can buy templates that are already made for circles and flowers and hearts and maybe even other designs. These are by June Taylor, and I use these circles and hearts and flowers over and over and over again. I've had them for 20 years. Now this is a new package because my other ones are really marked up, but they're still very usable. You can find these at Joann Fabrics and Crafts. You can even get them on Amazon and I'm sure other sewing supply websites. Now, here is a Christmas tree shape that I drew myself, and it was left over from another video that I did a while back, and here's the fusible webbing on here. And I actually put these on placemats for Christmas. So you can even draw great big ones yourself. Now here is a package of heart shapes. These are cookie cutters. I think I got them for maybe $1 or maybe $2. So look for things in the baking area where they sell cookie cutters. For instance, here is a rabbit's head with ears. Here is a tulip flower, another kind of flower, and a butterfly shape. Okay, now you can also buy little wooden templates. Now some of these are too small. I don't know if I would actually use them in machine applique, but I think this is a cat, and then here's another rabbit, and this is a nice butterfly shape right here. And I'm not sure, I think this was an Easter egg, and this is an apple. Now you can find these wooden templates at places like Michael's Crafts, Joann Fabrics and Crafts, but look for the large ones. These are great big giant letters. So you could applique letters on some things. And then look at this giant pineapple. Okay, so you could even make a big pineapple design. And let me see what else I have in here. I think I've got, well, no, that's not it at all. But then I found these little, I think they're like little gift tags, and they're in the shape of butterflies. So when you're out shopping and looking at things, go to places like Dollar Tree and look for items that you can use as templates. Now remember, I told you to start off small with a pot holder, but as you get better at it, you can apply it to table runners and pillows, larger items. And this is that same shamrock design, but I put it in a row on a table runner, and they're flipped. They're facing different directions. Let me show you some more. Here's a heart table runner that I made quite a while back. It's got 2 hearts sitting on top, and the background fabric changes just to make it a little more interesting. And let me show you one more. And this is one I did earlier this year. Hopefully you remember it, where this is the flowers. And it's got 2 pieces up here in the flower section, a stem and 2 leaves. This is a little more complicated to put on. Well, I hope I've inspired you to try doing machine applique. Make sure you check below your YouTube screen for links to many of these projects. Start with a simple pot holder. Trust me, you won't regret it. Don't forget to draw those little circles and squares and practice going around those different shapes. If you're interested in other beginner sewing projects, those will also be listed below your YouTube screen. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you'll receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.